Welcome back to another edition of the Brotherhood Ballad. Today I am joined by my dad and my other father, Alex Johnson.
Other co-hosts of the show.
Yeah.
We are here from the Cobblestone Inn and Suites in the meeting room. So this is a new spot for the podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here. It's for Justin's graduation from college, and we thought we'd all get together. Since we were together, we decided to do a podcast, and I believe we're going to be covering the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So to get started, things kind of went as they expected. Obviously, the first overall pick, we knew for the longest time it was going to be Cam Ward. Nothing really surprised there. Second overall draft pick, we did see a trade happen between Cleveland and Jacksonville. Travis Hunter ended up going, obviously this past season's Heisman winner. And then Abdul Carter at third to the Giants. Patriots were able to pick up Will Campbell. And then this is when the draft really started. At 5, Cleveland got Mason Graham, a pretty surprising pick from my perspective. Ashton Jetsy went to the Raiders. And from these top 6 picks, what were some takeaways?
My first big takeaway is that Jacksonville solely and single-handedly saved Travis Hunter's career instead of going to the most poverty franchise of all time in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. So shout out Jacksonville. I have my own thoughts about Trevor Lawrence, but hopefully Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter can work together because the head coach said that Travis Hunter for the first 2 years of his career will only be playing wide receiver, and they'll build in a few different packages for him to be corner, but their main focus is to have him at wide receiver.
I think that's fair enough because he was a really good receiver for Colorado.
Yeah, against all those good Big 12 defenses, right?
Yeah, they were good. Now, the thing is, it's rare that a player does play both ways in the NFL. They really specialize once you get up at that level. And so even though he's got qualifications on both sides of the ball, that's true. You guys are right. He'll probably be focused on the D side of the ball.
And one of our favorite picks in this draft, or at least one of our favorite players, Tedero McMillan, was drafted 8th overall to the Carolina Panthers. Alex, I know you had some thoughts about it. What were your thoughts on that?
T-Max was a great wide receiver at Arizona. He made Fafita stand out, given Fafita's size and weight and, what else. But him to Carolina, man, Carolina's just bad. They're really bad. Bryce Young is not that good. I'm not a fan of that draft pick, but at the same time, that does give T-Mac the opportunity to build his own career and build himself up because they are that bad. So there's pros and cons. I would have liked to see him go even one pick down to the Saints. Probably would have been a little bit better. Definitely did not want to see him in Chicago, considering he plays Chicago twice a year. But even if he would have slid down to the Cowboys, because him playing with CeeDee Lamb would be really cool to watch. But yeah, overall, I don't know. I'm not a fan of him at 8. Obviously, I love T-Mac, but that's just, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
He's the highest rated receiver in U of A football history to be drafted, 8th overall, because U of A's never had anybody drafted that high as a receiver in school history. So it's pretty historic for U of A. But T-Mac, I would like to go to Carolina and see him play. He's really good, and he could make a difference. Of course, you got 11 guys on the side of the ball and 11 on D, so you got the linemen and everybody else too. So hopefully T-Mac can make a difference and pull up Carolina a little bit. And that's why they got him. They knew he could electrify things. But again, it takes a whole team to do it, and they'll see how Carolina does with other picks and their veterans too to see if they can move up the ladder a bit. But we do love T-Mac, and hopefully he makes a difference.
Yeah, in this draft, we saw a lot of defensive players go. Obviously, some of the notable ones, Mason Graham, Jalen Walker. Georgia had a lot of great defensive players in this draft. We saw a lot of the SEC. They always bring the great defense. One of my favorite picks, I liked the Colston Loveland pick to the Bears at 10. Another weapon for Caleb Williams. Colston Loveland had a great receiver from Michigan. And Tyler Warren, one of my favorite players in the draft. He's a versatile Swiss Army knife. Some other ones notable. Emeka Egbuka in Tampa. I think he'll thrive in that system. What was your thoughts on the Packers' first round pick?
Yeah, before I get into that, this is just random. Marion Hampton to the Chargers is a really good pickup for them. Marion Hampton is a really good running back at North Carolina.
Some people were thinking he could be as good as Genty. If not better.
I mean,
have a better career.
He was a shining star at North Carolina. Too bad he wasn't a year younger. Otherwise, he could be with the GOAT. But yeah, I really like that pick for the Chargers. And yeah, so now we'll move on since you guys know that I'm a Packers fan. I'll try to keep it short, but here's my honest thoughts. So this is our first overall, our first round draft pick that has been a wide receiver since 2002 or 3. So it's been over 2 decades since we've done this. And throughout those 2 decades, we've had 2 of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. Not putting them on a GOAT list, but just the pure skill and the ability to throw a football between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They are some of the best to ever do it. And so we didn't treat either one of them we didn't give them any first overall draft or any first round wide receivers. And now we are in a new system under Matt LaFleur, who I love Matt LaFleur, although his play calling towards the end of the season last year was a little bit questionable. Coaches go through ruts, I get it, but we've been to the playoffs every single year he's been the head coach, so it is what it is. And so getting into that, I'm not really sure how I feel about the pick, because all we've been hearing from the Packers is, our wide receiver room is young. We're gonna keep developing them. We should get a veteran wide receiver to bring in some experience and get that core group established. And yet again, we failed to do that. And then to top that off, we then go and draft Matthew Golden. And that's nothing against Matthew Golden, because Matthew Golden was an all-time Texas wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, Matthew Golden has the ability to be a standout wide receiver in the NFL. But for what the Packers are trying to do, I'm not sure that I personally agree with that pick. We have the youngest roster too, and we have no wide receiver 1. So that's now implying that Matthew Golden is going to be fresh out of college, barely over the age of 20. And he's going to come into the NFL and be our wide receiver 1 as a rookie. And so the benefits of Matthew Golden, his 4.29 40, which should hopefully help out Love in the fact that, he doesn't just stand in the pocket for 5 seconds and all effort, Jaden Reed's got to be open, or Christian Watson in his one ACL made of grass on a putting green is probably down there hurt. Instead, we have Matthew Golden. So, I have to admit his walkout and how they all did that, had Mark Murphy up there, was pretty electric, but I don't know. I'm just not really the biggest fan of this first overall draft pick. I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope he shuts me up, because I love the Packers through and through, but I'm not a fan of this pick. And I know the entire city of Green Bay was going absolutely crazy during this pick at the draft. This pick would have been good 6 years ago when Rodgers was still in his prime, and coming up on his 3rd and 4th MVP in back-to-back years. That would have been the most perfect time to do something like this. Because, we were still Super Bowl contenders at that time. We had that bullshit loss because of a blocked punt, which still hurts me to this day. But as of now, like I said, Matthew Golden, great wide receiver. But I'm not a fan of the pick, right, as of today, as we do this podcast right now.
Boy, I think let's just see how it plays out. And something unexpected could happen, Alex.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll prove to be the difference in trying, especially with going up against Detroit and Minnesota, and how tough the division is. That could be one key to get ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that's the key. So he potentially could be really good. And Texas, he comes from a really good school there. And the one pick I noticed there, 2 picks later, the Giants took Jackson Dart there in the first round. He was pretty good. So that was a pretty good pick for the Giants.
They traded up their pick to get Jackson Dart there.
Yeah.
One of the interesting storylines throughout this whole NFL draft process has been the quarterback situation. And obviously we know that Cam Ward was the bona fide number one in this class. He's a stud. Went to Miami. Was at Washington State. But what was really the key difference in this draft is it wasn't really a great quarterback class. I mean, Cam Ward obviously is great, but last year, people say he might have been the sixth best quarterback drafted. Obviously, like J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, all those guys. But probably the most interesting and dominant storyline, I'm sure, as you all know, is Shedeur Sanders dropping to the 5th round. We saw obviously Jackson Dart go 25th, and then we saw Tyler Shuck go 40th to the Saints. And then we saw Dylan Gabriel and Jalen Milroe go 2 picks apart. And the whole country was wondering what's going on with Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, there's been some character issues. Obviously, he has to learn a little humility. But what are you guys' thoughts on the quarterback situation? Alex, we'll start with you.
Yeah. That quarterback situation is, I find it all actually really funny because I've been saying this. Like, you can go back and watch our videos from when we started talking about draft prospects. I've been anti-Shedeur. He's just not, I mean, he's not going to be good. You get drafted to a team that has 5 quarterbacks in their quarterback room now. They go from Dylan Gabriel on Friday night to drafting Shedeur yesterday. I mean, what is the point of that? Just so that, like, I feel like this is just all, like, some media stuff. Because, like, oh my gosh, a team finally did it. And, of course, it'd be Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland's, had 40 starters in the past?
The most starters of any team since '99, and they have it by 10. The next lowest is 30. And so you're right. 40's a lot, you know.
I do like the Browns draft as a whole, though, other than the quarterback situation. Like, getting Mason Graham is huge. He's one of the best interior linemen. And then Quinshon Judkins. Him and Travion Henderson were probably my favorite running backs in this whole draft.
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins was great at Ohio State. Key piece of their offense for them winning the Natty last season. And it's not Nick Chubb in Cleveland anymore. Who's the
running back there?
Yeah.
I'm not sure offhand.
It's not Nick Chubb anymore.
Yeah.
Is it? He's on the Bengals.
Oh, he went to the other.
I don't know who the Browns running back is.
Yeah, regardless, they have a really good rookie in Quinshon Judkins. Yeah, and something of notoriety is now the Houston Texans now have 3 wide receivers from Iowa State under Matt Campbell, which is really cool, actually. I mean, that should Nico Collins or who had that really bad injury?
Lazard?
No, the really bad injury in the Chiefs game last year. It wasn't Nico Collins, was it?
I can't remember.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Regardless, now they have some really good and young options for CJ Stroud. Wait.
At Houston there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Houston there. So, I like that pickup for the Texans. Iowa State's produced some good wide receivers, so CJ Stroud should be able to teach those young guys, like bring them up to the league and stuff. Also, we have for Scotty here and Justin, you guys will like this. So with the 37th pick and the 5th overall in the 2nd round, the Miami Dolphins traded with the Raiders to get the guard from Arizona, Jonas
Senabea, something like that. Yeah. We were excited about that pick. I mean, he's a good player. And then going that early, everybody was really excited to go to Miami. I'd love to go down there to South Beach and catch a game there. I've never been to Miami. I'd love to see him play.
Yeah, maybe Jonah here will be able to stop to his advanced rapid growth of CTE. So we'll find out.
So, the 2nd round had some really good players go there.
Tyler Shuck went to my high school, Hamilton High School. Shout out.
Yeah.
Class of 2018.
Didn't Jerry Rice's son go there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were teammates in basketball.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've met
JT Tuimoloau.
Yeah.
The Colts. Him and Tyler Warren. Those are great draft picks.
That is a great draft.
How do you feel about Will Johnson falling to the Cardinals?
Oh, down here from Michigan?
He was supposed to go in the 1st round.
Well, that's a steal for Arizona to get that pick and get a 2nd rounder like that. He could make the impact right away.
So I compare Will Johnson's knee and Jair Alexander's knee are one and the same. Bad. Very injury prone as Will Johnson. But again, a steal. I mean, he was a key part of Michigan's perfect. Oh wait, did they have a perfect season?
They won the national title 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. In the perfect season, Will Johnson was big for that.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that he would fall down to the 54th overall pick in the draft to Green Bay. Instead, we get the big brother Anthony Belton, offensive tackle from NC State. He's like literally the football version of DJ Burns. This brother is gigantic.
How big is he?
Well, let's find out. One moment here, you guys.
Some of my other favorite picks in the second round. I really do like R.J. Harvey out of UCF. This running back class was really, really tough. Genty, Boise State. We were able to go to Boise State this past season, so I hope he has success in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, because we were hyping him up against Penn State, and he ran pretty good against them, but they just didn't have quite enough gas in the tank to keep up. But he's a good player.
Yeah.
Genty.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, NC State, 6'7", 360.
One of the key things, Alex, you bring up is Philadelphia, who won the Super Bowl, had a huge line, both offense and defense.
Yeah.
And so many picks this year were linemen because they're thinking, get big lines just like Philadelphia. And these guys are really good. And so they're all trying to improve to be up there as good as Philadelphia is.
Our buddy Will like this pick in the third round. Steelers got Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. He's a really tough back. Obviously, him and Jalen Warren will be the backfield of the future.
And Najee?
Or they don't have him anymore. Najee Harris went somewhere else.
Wow, I did not see that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So they got
they
got a backup at least.
yeah, Caleb Johnson is a power runner, hard hitting, runs downhill, nice.
Yeah.
Like, he's great. He was a dog at Iowa. Too bad Iowa's a joke.
Yeah.
Also, a pick I like is Darian Porter to Iowa State.
Where did he go?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, he went to Las Vegas.
Oh, the Raiders,
Yep. And also, today it was announced that Iowa State DB Matthew Purchase was picked up by the Chargers as an undrafted free agent, which is good for Iowa State. It's good that he got picked up by the Chargers.
Because Iowa State's sending a lot to the pros now. Matt
Campbell's a hell of a head coach. He's had multiple offers and been on the rumor table about going to the NFL. And actually, this season he became the most winningest head coach of all time for Iowa State football. So.
Yeah, he wants to stay there, so he's going to probably end up having the stadium named with him with Jack Trice. It'll be the combined.
The Trice Campbell Stadium.
Probably, I'm sure it will happen. Yeah.
Last season I know they went on a nice run there because Justin and I were actually at that game where they played UCF and it came down to the very end and Rocco Beck did it on his own and got that game-winning touchdown.
They were 7-0 for the first time since 1927 or something.
And it was the highest they've ever been ranked in football in the history of the program. Yeah,
and basically all quad champs. We had 4 ties, so they'll probably be one of the teams up again in next year in the Big 12. Iowa State will be up there.
Yeah,
so no doubt.
And
we go in the third round or any more in the second we're going over. Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon going to Cleveland, so that's going to make it tough. With 2 rookies, that is rare to draft 2 quarterbacks in for the same team. Very rare.
Yeah, so like we were talking about, here's my thing. It's pretty simple. They got 5 quarterbacks, cut it down to 3, and here's the easiest way to do it. So 2 of the quarterbacks in that quarterback room have rings. So they just stay. Flacco and Pickett, they got rings. And then you just keep... you have a duel between Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel.
For the one spot, and the other gets cut.
Just get that sexual predator out of there, pay him, and let him walk.
Well, have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Have to see what happens.
Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks 2 picks earlier.
Yeah, at the 92nd pick.
He can...
I like Jalen Milroe.
I like him, yeah. If he just gets that middle game, because he has a deep ball and he can run, so he just needs to work on.
He's better than Sam Darnold.
Oh, yeah, he could beat him out.
Oh, 100%. Sam Darnold's a joke.
Yeah.
When you're throwing to the best wide receiver in the NFL, and Justin Jefferson, and you have his side piece in Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
That's why he was good. That's why.
And Seattle there.
That's why Sam Darnold got a contract like that in Seattle. But really quick, also another thing that I found interesting, back on Friday night, the Packers drafted Savion Williams, wide receiver out of TCU. So once again, drafting a young wide receiver.
What round was that in?
The third round. It was the 87th overall pick.
87. So we're looking at out of TCU there.
2 wide receivers.
So you got 2 wide receivers right away. In the first 3 rounds.
Wide receiver, offensive tackle, wide receiver.
Okay. Well, you got that's you need the guys up front too. So that's good. At least you got something. Yeah. But they must be starting a new receiving core then.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to third round or still on second?
Go
Third
fourth
or
round.
third?
Did you know anything about Savion Jones, the edge rusher from LSU,
No.
to Denver?
Denver got some good picks.
Yeah, they did.
Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Jade Barron from out of
Yeah.
Texas. That was probably my favorite pick. All the other ones I didn't really know that well, but
What about? Do you know anything about Xavier Watts?
Oh, out of Notre Dame, a safety.
Yeah.
Went to Atlanta.
Notre Dame's always got good defense.
They got talent, big time. Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton, Scotty, what do you think about him?
Who's this now?
Kyle Hamilton on the
Raiders?
Yeah, he's
Or on the Ravens.
on the Ravens.
What round did he go?
No. He's been
there.
on the team for a while.
Yeah.
He was drafted out of
He's a
Notre
good
Dame in
player.
like
23.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I hadn't
24.
seen it specifically, but he's pretty good from what you guys seen.
Scatterboo to the Giants, fourth round.
Oh, that's a steal. He should have gone sooner than that. That
I mean,
guy,
I hate ASU, but he was a good player.
he's
Fourth
one
down.
solid muscle, like I said in the previous podcast. This guy is just muscle. He just runs people over. So the Giants really scored big, and they got him in the third pick in the fourth round. He should have gone a lot
The Giants
sooner.
had a really good draft
They
this year,
had
Scotty.
Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart,
Yeah,
Scatterboo.
I mean, they scored big, so I think the Giants will move up. So Cam is a really good player, and that's the thing. I've seen him play. I mean, it doesn't. He should have gone much higher. He's very, very good.
Do you like Cody Simon, the linebacker out of Ohio State, the edge rusher to the Cardinals? Another good defensive pick for the Cardinals there.
Oh yeah. He's a linebacker. Is that a Cody Simon? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it said linebacker, but you say he plays edge then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if they got somebody to rush the passer and create havoc back in the backfield, it sure helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, the Cardinals were 8-9 last year. Hopefully they can get a winning
Yeah.
season, maybe a playoff bid.
Yeah.
I love the Jack Sawyer pick to the Steelers. That's just that's J.J. Watt Jr.
Yeah. Jack Sawyer.
T.J. Watt Jr. to the.
Yeah.
He
No.
saved Ohio State's season.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing about Pittsburgh, you guys, I've known this for many years, they don't trade much.
Nope.
They always build through the draft, and those late draft picks that Pittsburgh gets, I mean, the early ones are obviously good too, but those late ones, they seem to find these diamond in the rough guys, and they're all good. So whenever Pittsburgh drafts late, they're going to be good. As well as early too, but the Pittsburgh, you got to watch out. They're always good at that draft. And they don't make deals, they draft.
Some other interesting picks we've seen. Some of the late round picks, obviously, in the fifth round, Shador was drafted finally with the sixth pick to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that story was just unbelievable. We've never seen a player drop like that. That was projected in the first round. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yes, one thing is they stress humility, because you learn a lot of humility going against some really good guys. And he's so confident, he's got to tone it down a little bit and show a little humility. And I think by drafting him in the fifth round, they probably sent a message to just play ball and keep it low key.
Because obviously we've seen him play against Arizona 2 times, and he almost beat, or didn't they beat us this past season?
We barely beat them the year we went to the Alamo Bowl, but they
yeah.
wiped us out last year.
Yeah.
And so he's a good player, and with Travis Hunter, the two of them really were quite a combo at Boulder last year. But again, he's probably going to be pretty good, but he got to learn a little humility, and he'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
And Tyler Loop here, that's right. He went in the 6th round.
6th round of the Ravens.
And normally kickers go in the 7th round, but they took him early, and they understand they had some difficulties with the other kicker, and they're probably going to cut that one. And Tyler will probably get a job there with Baltimore.
I think he had one of the best field goal percentages in the whole college football.
That's why he got picked, and I thought he was going to get drafted. We haven't had a kicker drafted from U of A in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to get a receiver taken, and now a kicker, and then Jonas Senevea. We got 4. We got another guy, Krosky Merritt, way at the end in the 7th round.
Yeah.
So it's the
Oh,
first
he got
time-
drafted too?
Krosky Merritt.
Yeah, at the end, and we've had 4 U of A taken, and that's the most we've had taken in a long time.
And then Will Howard, quarterback out of Ohio State, goes to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh now has 1 quarterback.
2.
Him and who else?
Rudolph.
And that's it.
That's it?
Mason Rudolph.
And well, maybe they'll work. Usually they usually have to 3 normally to have a.
They have 2 right now.
They
Rudolph
gotta
was
get
their
another.
only one.
Oh, they should have drafted another one. Yeah. And when was he taken? The one you were talking about?
Will
6th?
Howard in
Yeah.
the 7th round, I think.
7th.
Oh,
6th
7?
round, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 6th round. Okay.
Also, this was actually a snipe by the Indianapolis Colts here in round 5. I totally forgot, but in round 5, the Indianapolis Colts drafted running back out of Kansas State, DJ Giddens.
He went off against us.
DJ Giddens was a really good running back for Kansas State.
Well, K-State has produced some really good players. You never underestimate anybody from K-State. They are always good
Go
over there in
Wildcats.
Manhattan. Yeah, no doubt. And he went to where?
To Indianapolis.
And they got
Colts.
It's going to be a great backup for Jonathan Taylor out there in Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis. Okay, so
Yeah.
keep your eye on DJ Giddings. Okay,
Yeah.
K-State. Yeah, okay, into Indy. Uh-huh.
Here, I would have found this funny, Scotty, if the Colts drafted Shador and they made him and Anthony Richardson fight it out for starting quarterback.
That would get dicey. That would
Very
be interesting.
dicey.
Anthony Richardson is
Yeah.
a bomb.
Anthony Richardson is a laughing stock. He's horrible. He might actually be worse than like Mark Sanchez,
Butt fumble.
Butt Fumble Sanchez, or Anthony Richardson. We'll make that a short. They can vote on.
Ollie Gordon to the Dolphins.
Yeah,
He
Ollie
played
Gordon.
horrible this last
Ollie
season.
Gordon was a joke. Alan Bowman's going into his 15th year of college football, and what's the long-haired bastard from Utah?
Mike Gundy?
No, Cam Rising.
Cam
Oh.
Rising, yeah.
20th year of college
Yeah,
football.
Cam Rising and Alan Bowman should play together in the CFL.
Riley Leonard's the Colts.
Yeah.
What round you guys looking at?
We're in round
Sixth round.
Yeah.
Sixth round, okay.
Also, for our friend Willie Pete here, Jalen Reed to the Texans is good for them out of Penn State. He will help out that Texans defense a lot. Also, something we didn't add is isn't Diggs now on the Texans?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs to the Texans. I mean, their wide receiving room is going to be like that. If C.J. Stroud can perform like he did his rookie year, had his sophomore slump like everybody, but then performs like he did his rookie year, the Texans could be a real threat in the AFC next year.
They could.
Like
yeah.
they could definitely challenge with Chiefs, Bills, Ravens.
Yeah.
So
Warren Brinson from Georgia.
yeah, what are your thoughts about Graham Mertz? Do you think
Not Tebow.
Do you think that DJ Lagway is better than him?
Oh yeah. DJ Lagway is probably going to go in the top. Probably be a second round pick.
And Mertz at Florida, didn't he get hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just kind of hoping he didn't get hurt, but they took him. They're in the sixth round there. Yeah.
Trying to see if there's any late.
Yeah, LeJohntay Wester, the wide receiver out of Colorado.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
LeJohntay Wester actually, sorry to bring this up, but when you guys played Colorado this year, LeJohntay Wester scored 2 of those touchdowns.
They did.
good.
Yeah, they just went off.
And
So
Jimmy Horn Jr. got drafted too a couple years
Yeah.
later.
and he goes to Baltimore.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
play alongside with, it's not Hollywood Brown anymore. Mark Andrews. Maybe he'll catch it. Maybe he won't. We'll find out.
Yeah, they got some good picks in Baltimore this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, good picks.
Jimmy Horn Jr. too from Colorado. I hate Colorado.
Buffalo.
So
Montana State player. Got
Yeah,
drafted.
Tommy Millard. It was a compensatory pick to the Raiders. Hopefully he doesn't, get DUI and felony murder like Henry Ruggs. But hey, Vegas treats everybody different.
that was in the 7th round.
Yeah,
Okay.
a compensatory pick.
I was looking Montana State. You don't see many get drafted from Bozeman there.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal there.
Also, Jeremy Crenshaw from Florida got drafted to be the new Broncos punter. Did you see that, Scotty?
That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Which round? 7?
Yeah, at the end of the 6th round. Sorry.
Oh, 6?
Yeah.
And punter. See, there's some going in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy will be there soon.
Oh, might.
Because those punters, you got to boot them 45
At
minimum
least.
and way up high.
Quinn Ewers turned
Yeah.
down $8 million to get $700,000.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, the 231st pick in the NFL draft. Quinn Ewers turned all that NIL money to be a bum in Miami.
Arch Manning's gonna go first
No,
next year.
no.
He'll be a good player though. Jeremiah Smith could go first. Oh no,
Where
he's
is he?
only a sophomore.
Yeah,
He's still
he'd
got
be-
another year.
No, 2 years. In college?
3 years, right? Out of high school.
Yeah, 3 out of high school. Now Quinn went in
NBA, or
the
there's only one.
he went in the 7th round. That's amazing.
Quinn
Here's a
Ewers,
big
yeah.
household name in Texas and go that late.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe he won't get CTE like Tua, and he can help him out and maybe bring the Dolphins some more wins.
That could be a steal for the Dolphins to get a quarterback that late.
Especially with the name of Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, he's a household name.
What are some of our overall takeaways from this draft?
I think it was really good. I mean, a lot of players from a lot of positions. I mean, they're all good. You look at the highlights when you watch the thing. They shine. So you just have to kind of distribute them, whoever gets what. your needs in that. Some were just going for best position, best available player, or what their positions, what they were looking for. But all in all, it's pretty good. Just see how it shakes up. Give them 2 or 3 years. See how they blend in with their teams.
Yeah,
And
the
that's- mhm.
SEC dominated a lot of the picks.
And the
a lot
Big
of guys
Ten,
from Georgia,
yeah.
a lot of Big Ten players.
Yeah, because those 2 conferences do get a lot of attention. Of course, Notre Dame gets a lot too, and the Big 12 got some pub too, and the ACC and all. But I think it was a good draft. We'll see how the teams improve. Of course, the ones down at the bottom, you want to see them pull up and do better of that. And the tough teams that are up there a lot, see how they keep maintaining it. It's we all can't go 12-5. There's 17 games, so somebody's got to go 8-9, and a few others go below that. But you'll see how the ones coming up that with their picks, Carolina and the Giants, teams like that. See if they can build up.
Yeah, so with the 257th pick in round 7 or overall, Kobe Minor, cornerback to the Patriots. He played for 3 different schools, Scotty. He played for Texas Tech for 2 years, then Indiana, then Memphis. So he went from the Big 12, Big 10 to the American.
Okay, and he is Mr. Irrelevant because you drafted last, but there was a Mr. Irrelevant a couple years ago that really made it big.
Yeah, by the name of what? Like Brock Purdy?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So you never underestimate Mr. Irrelevant or any of those 7th rounders. They could, like Tom Brady was a 6th rounder. Look what he did. So I never throw any of these guys under the bus. You never know. This Kobe Minor could make it. So New England. So we'll see how they do. And they do make an issue that Mr. Irrelevant. Don't they get a uniform or something? 257 on it or something like that. Anyway, they make fun of it, but still, any of these players are all they're all really good.
They're all very good.
And they're just that close together. They're all that good. So
I think Kobe Minor would be a really good Battlehawk player down in St. Louis.
yeah, because they call the UFL like